Here's an idea. One Punch Man encourages us to confront what it is we really want from our heroes. This episode of Idea Channel is brought to you by Squarespace. One Punch Man, which is shortened OPM, is an unusual superhero tale that started as a webcomic by writer/illustrator One. It became powerfully popular online and was released as an ongoing manga and anime series. In this episode, we're mostly going to talk about the anime and the manga and about how OPM raises some questions about the difference between what we think superheroes should be and what, at least as far as appearances seem to indicate, they actually are. But first, some training. One Punch Man follows Saitama, aka Caped Baldy, but who mostly just goes by Saitama. He's not your normal run-of-the-mill hero. First, as indicated by the series' very literal title, he can defeat most opponents in just one punch. He is incredibly powerful and also incredibly bored. Not like bored in economics class bored.
Anyone?
He's got plenty to do, but deeply and existentially bored. We're talking like ennui here. OPM is an almost perfect counterpoint to the non-stop power level escalation, which is the basis of Dragon Ball Z and so much other popular anime. Saitama starts out the best and remains the best without any significant challenge, much to his dismay. And in addition to being bored, Saitama is also a little boring. Don't get me wrong, it's cool that he's so powerful, and he seems like a nice guy, but his world is full of heroes with costumes, special moves, catchphrases, and crazy gear. Meanwhile, he looks like a thumb wearing a construction uniform. His special moves are things like consecutive normal punches and serious consecutive side hops, unless you count ear wiggles as a special move. He's plain spoken, and by his own frequent admission, he is a hero just for fun. OPM is a parody of the shonen genre of manga, stories aimed at boys and focused on combat. They have large casts of melodramatic characters battling it out with a full complement of pizzazz and gimmickry. We've already mentioned Dragon Ball, but there's also One Piece, Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note, and so on and so forth. OPM's melodramatic cast fits perfectly alongside other shonen stories with one exception: Saitama, who is crazy powerful, but crazily not crazy. Sometimes he's even drawn purposefully featureless, like an egg with eyes. Chuimon on Twitter pointed out that his outfit is a parody of a famous Japanese children's hero, and even his backstory is boring. He always dreamed of being a hero, so he quit his job as a salaryman, did sit-ups, and ran every day to become the most powerful hero in the world in just 3 years. You did it, Saitama. Really, this is a joke about the training regimens of many other shonen characters, the ever-present politics of often biologically determined power levels, and how that leads to hierarchies. Saitama upsets the whole superhero hegemony. He became the best simply by getting better. In a way, this makes him the neoliberal ideal of a superhero. He's a hard-working individual who made it to the top. Well, sort of. Because at first, he's not really a hero. Not a significant one, anyway, for a few reasons. First, like in the Venture Brothers, hero is a profession. Heroism is regulated and ranked in OPM by the official Hero Association. And Saitama, a hero for fun, doesn't even know about the association until his sidekick and disciple Genos fills him in. They take the tests, Genos gets ranked high in Class S, which is very good, and Saitama, who nails the physical portion but bombs the written portion, gets ranked 300 something in Class C, which is very not good. And though Saitama is practically speaking the most effective hero, he can defeat every enemy with ease, albeit no panache, the public is skeptical of or downright hostile towards him. Other heroes spread rumors about him, question his presence, and don't give him a fair shake because of his ranking, personality, or both. Digibro has described this effect as an overdog being, quote, unrecognized within the broken standards of a system. All this then poses the question, what makes someone a good hero? If in OPM's world the job of a hero is to defeat monsters, then Saitama is the best. But if heroism means performing hero-ness according to expectation, as much of the public, powers that be, and many of Saitama's peers seem to believe it does, then Saitama is the worst. Or if not the worst, then something equally bad, the boringest. Which brings us to one of the most interesting heroes, Saitama's foil, Moomin Rider. Where Saitama is aloof, not very dedicated, largely disliked, and supremely powerful, Moomin Rider is focused, dedicated, beloved, and totally powerless. Moomin Rider is One Punch Man's ultimate symbol of pathos. He involves himself in situations he has no earthly right to because he owes it to the public. Being a hero is his duty. By OPM's judgment and by the audience's, real and fictional, Moomin Rider is a capital H hero. It is nearly impossible to not like and respect him. Is that because he struggles? Because his will exceeds his ability? Because he rushes into situations knowing hope is slim, but his sense of duty compels him? Maybe. But even so, ultimately, we see Moomin Rider accomplish almost nothing. He is, by a practical measure, and I feel terrible saying this, a bad hero. But by the crown of the Sea King, if he is not interesting. Even his gimmick, that he doesn't have a driver's license and so he has to bike everywhere, is absurd, hilarious, and endearing. He is, rightfully so, one of a very few heroes that even Saitama respects. Maybe because, like him, Moomin Rider understands the value of hard work. He just hasn't really benefited, ability-wise, from any of his. One Punch Man implies that in the eyes of the public, a great hero is not a normal somebody for whom heroism is easy and comes naturally. A great hero struggles and is a showman, is recognized by law, consensus, or both. Heroism is a tautology. How do you know that someone is a hero? They look and act heroic. Moomin Rider does this, but Saitama does not. But wait, why must heroes be showmen? Well, one interpretation of heroism, and one that I think is encouraged by OPM, is that the central pursuit of heroes is not to save civilization or the world or even specific people. Those acts are the means by which they reach a different end, saving humanity in general from boredom. The claim here may be that heroes must struggle, be interesting, because their stories and not their actions are what make them. Clear rankings within the social stratum let us know how they relate to one another and to us. How close are we to becoming heroes? In the case of Saitama, he doesn't struggle, and I could never dream of having his power. In his book, The Philosophy of Boredom, Lars Svensson theorizes that in the wake of Romanticism, where it became common to think that each person has an individual self that they must realize through their own accomplishments, we've increasingly foregone active self-realization and instead consume it through celebrity or commodity. Tesla Motors, iPhones, the Kardashian sports team, scientific discovery, and Tom Hanks work as surrogates for our own self-actualization. And while these things may give us plenty to do, they cure our day-to-day bored in economics class style boredom, Svensson says that they can leave us deeply existentially bored.
Then there's existential boredom where the world is empty.
So like Saitama, we, as the heroes of late capitalism, are always confronting a procession of things we're convinced will make us. Is that bad? Well, it certainly has bad parts. Surely we sacrifice something in defining ourselves by external means. May we also argue that there is some positive aspect to a boredom that is born of accomplishment or excellence? We could. OPM may inspire us to ask if, as consumers of commodities and celebrity, we are too powerful and thus woeful. Or maybe Saitama shows us how being the best in any way is a lonely victory. That greatness, however it's measured, doesn't save one from drudgery. No matter how it's done, when we seek external validation, we do so in futility. On the other hand though, OPM may encourage us to confront that boredom and search for a way to put our power to good use, as Saitama does. In possession of seemingly limitless resources, do we not have the power to upset the highly regimented status quo and bring previously separated ranks together? Certainly stands to reason. We may also see ourselves in Saitama's public. The things which are most effective at solving our real problems, a deep existential boredom / constant monster invasion, are not interesting, and so we focus on that which is less effective but has more pizzazz, conflating heroism and celebrity. At times, OPM shows that the best heroes are better celebrities than they are capable heroes. Sweet Mask's whole thing is even about hero public image, the relationship between strength and attractiveness, etc., etc. We have shades of this in our world. Our worst celebrities are often still average or above average heroes simply by effect of the fact that they made it. We'll call firefighters, philanthropists, scientists, and public intellectuals heroes, but often only in response to their sometimes fleeting celebrity. Saitama, caped Baldy himself, I think, is an encouragement to look beyond celebrity for the nature of a true hero, who may love grocery store deal day as much as saving the day, which he does just for fun. What do you guys think? What makes a true hero, and what do we appear to want from our heroes? And do those things line up? Let us know in the comments, and I will respond to some of them in next week's comment response video. In this week's comment response video, we talk about your thoughts regarding mourning celebrity death online. If you want to watch that one, you can click right here or find a link in the doobly-doo. This week in podcasting news, I was on Matt Storm's Crash Chords podcast talking about Idea Channel and working in New York City, and my podcast, Reasonably Sound, which is gonna come back very soon. If you wanna listen to that, we'll put a link in the description. And I was also on a recent episode of the Mental Floss List show talking about podcasts, so we'll put a link to that in the description as well. Also, if you happen to be in New York City, I'm gonna be on a panel this Friday as part of the Teachers College of Columbia's Why Talk About Gender Symposium. I'm gonna be talking with some friends about what it means to facilitate conversations about gender with audiences in all shapes and sizes. So we'll put a link to that in the description too. We have a Facebook and IRC and a subreddit, links to those in the doobly-doo, and the tweet of the week comes from BX from MX, who in a conversation with a friend of theirs talks about how real people fan theories may equal revisionist history, which is something that I have been thinking about since I saw this tweet. And hey, in case you were wondering, this episode of Idea Channel is supported by Squarespace. If you have a passion that you obsess over, if it keeps you up at night, if you live for it, you should show it off. With tools and templates, Squarespace helps you showcase every detail of what drives you. They also offer domains, hosting, and customer support, because if it's worth the effort, it's worth showing to the world. Start your trial today. Visit squarespace.com/Idea Channel. You may have noticed over the last couple episodes that we are teasing the fact that we now have a new set with all kinds of things, and something happened today that I'm just really super excited about that I just wanted to point out, and that's our record player arrived, and eventually it will be a fully functioning record player so that I can listen to records, hopefully not instead of making videos. And last but certainly not least, this week's episode would not have been possible or good without the hard work of these true heroes.